Small businesses have been facing cash crunch due to the impact of the coronavirus outbreak. Small businesses, for example, in retail, are staring at job cuts amid crumbling operations due to coronavirus. The novel coronavirus outbreak has a severe impact on the livelihood of households and business activities, resulting to drop in global demand for goods and services, declined consumer confidence, and a slowdown in production, amongst others. The federal government, through the Central Bank of Nigeria and Federal Ministry of Finance, Budget and National Planning, have announced some monetary and fiscal measures to help mitigate the impact of the coronavirus pandemic on the economy. Nigerian businesses and households, the CBN on its own, through various circulars and pronouncements, has announced some stimulus packages that will impact different sectors like the health sector, micro, small and medium enterprises, manufacturers, households, and so on. The Apex Bank introduced a 50 billion naira targeted credit facility as a stimulus package to support households and micro, small and medium enterprises that are affected by the coronavirus pandemic. The scheme shall be funded by the Micro, Small and Medium Enterprises Development Fund, and the eligible participating financial institutions for the scheme is Nasser Microfinance Bank. Let's break this down and make you understand what it actually means. I have the Director General of SMEDAN, is Dr. Diko Umar Rada. He joins me now via Skype from Abuja. Thank you very much, DG, for joining us on the show.
Thank you very much for having me.
Let's start this way. Coronavirus and small businesses. We see what's happening all over. It's a global issue. How would you say small businesses have felt the impact, the negative impact of COVID-19 at this time?
Yeah, it's really about the coronavirus pandemic has really affected the small and medium businesses in our country, as it happens in other countries all over the world. And having in mind that in Nigeria we have a very large chunk of macro, small and medium enterprises in the country, which is over 41 million. So it's a great worry to our country like this, and the effect it has on the economy is so devastating. And then honestly, they have suffered due to the lockdown because most of them cannot come out to sell their goods. Some of them cannot go to their factory to produce their goods. And then some cannot provide the services needed because of the lockdown and the curfew that was imposed. So I think it has really affected their income, and it has already affected the economy of our country. On the MSME, I think it's a good one, and we must appreciate Mr. President for intervening and giving a palliative to these MSMEs through the Central Bank agenda. And it is the recovery of the ease of the lockdown. Some businesses have started, which is not a good lockdown, but people have started coming out. People have started going back to the and businesses are coming up. And you could remember, if we go back to history, when Nigeria first entered recession, when the government just came in, I think the recession due to the effort of the macro, small and medium businesses, having been the majority of the businesses that are in this country. Small and medium businesses with this kind of palliative roll out by the federal government, they will soon get out of the situation. But I must say that other things need to be done to ensure that other smaller businesses also get kind of support, because some of them cannot be able to meet up the requirement to get the COVID-19 50 billion because they are just micro businesses. Some of them, their capital is not up to 30, 40, 50,000. And then I think we have submitted a proposal to the economic sustainability team of the Vice President so that a grant can be issued to macro businesses to help them roll over and come back into their business. And also, this moratorium that was given by the federal government to cushion the effect of the repayment to the macro, small, and medium businesses is also a good initiative by the federal government. SMEDAN as an agency has initiated a letter through our parent ministry, the Federal Ministry of Industry, Trade and Investment, to the central bank governor to also consider loan given to the macro, small, and medium businesses through microfinance banks and other financial institutions. If there is a way they can reduce the interest rate, or they can provide a moratorium on those kind of loans to allow them to recover before they go on to continue repayment of the existing loan.
Okay, DG, let us hold on. Let's take a break and try to reconnect with you so that we could get a clearer picture and audio from you there right from Abuja. We'll take, continue the program while we'll try to reconnect with the Director General of SMEDAN. We're glad to have you back. I still have the Director General of SMEDAN, Dr. Diko Marada. He's still on via Skype from Abuja. Now, DG, I'm interested in this one local government, one product scheme of SMEDAN. Tell us more about it and how far you've gone.
You know, the one local government, one product was borrowed from Japan. In Japan, they have what we call one village, one local government. And it's a program that concentrates on an organic cluster in a particular local government. And we are looking at a product which has competitive and comparative advantage within that local government area. So what we do when we identified an organic cluster doing a similar business in an environment, we organize them into cooperative society. We give them entrepreneurship training. We provide a workspace for them. Then we ask them what they need to scale up their production to produce more of their product. Then we buy those machinery together with the cooperative members in line in partnership with microfinance banks. We buy the equipment for them. We give them a working capital. And then we ask them to refund only 70% of the money we give them without any interest. The 30% is part of the federal government incentive to support those businesses. The aim of the program is to facilitate rural industrialization. And this will help. So far, we have gone to about 218 local governments, one cooperative for each local government. And we are intending between this year, 2020 to 2021, we'll be able to reach all the 774 local governments, and then we'll have one cooperative that was engaged into this. Even as part of the palliative given by the agency, we have given them a moratorium of about 1 year to enable them to repay after they have recovered from this pandemic that is affecting the nation.
One way or the other, we would like you to touch on efforts by the central bank and NASA. We know what's been happening about funding for SMEs. How accessible are these funds for small businesses?
Yes, I think from the report we got from most of the MSMEs, some have been able to access the funding on this COVID-19 palliative of the 50 billion. And because the requirement needed for them to access the funding is really not too difficult to meet up. And again, we are happy with the central bank that yesterday they have issued a statement saying that they have waived the guarantor form because it's difficult for some of these MSMEs to provide guarantors, especially under this lockdown. They have waived it, that we don't need to have it. And also, they have also given us a number, and they have given the MSMEs the number in their website, that anybody who have applied and there was no response after 48 hours, you should be able to call that number, and it's a CBN number, so that they will find out why and how is it that this thing is taking so much time. This initiative, I think, it came as a result of complaint by some of the MSMEs that they are not accessing this funding. But this kind of effort by the CBN through the National Microfinance Bank, I think is a good one. They need a commendation on that. And people should take advantage, the MSMEs should take advantage of this and be able to access this funding so that they can improve on the losses they have suffered during the COVID-19 pandemic.
Indeed, there are a lot of challenges SMEs face because we put this on social media. A lot of questions came in for you, DG. Talk about funding, talk about MSMEs being more creative and access to market, infrastructure. We can go on and on and on. DG, how are we checking all of this, the checks and balances, and how has the government been supporting you?
You know, in Nigeria, we have a different way the agencies, in each country, we have the different ways in which the agencies operate. In Nigeria here, SMEDAN is not a funding agency. We don't fund MSMEs. But what we do is we are more of technical in support of them. Like we are more of doing the entrepreneurship training, providing business development support, monitoring these MSMEs, and then counseling them on how to go about their businesses, helping them to access funding from the financial institutions that provide funding for MSMEs, and also linking them with the market. You know, the major problem in Nigeria is because we don't have a database for all the MSMEs in the country. What we normally have is a survey, which is being conducted after 3 years with MBS and SMEDAN. What is giving us the survey is an estimate. What we need to have is a mass, what we are doing now, and we initiated it from last year, we are doing a mass registration for macro, small, and medium businesses, so that we can be able to tell anybody who wants to have that information that if you go to social place, you have this kind of people who produces this kind of thing, you have these people who produces this kind of thing, you have these people who sell this kind of, or who provide this kind of services. So if you don't have that comprehensive data, it is going to be very difficult for you to hit your target as you wanted it. And it makes it easier for anybody, any agency that wants to give any kind of relief to MSMEs. They can just go into that data bank and it makes it easier. And it even makes it easier for the state governments to go into that data bank and get information of all the MSMEs they have in their local governments or in their state, what they do and what they are doing, what they offer, what they produce, and they be able to give them the kind of support they want to give them. SMEDAN has started the initiative last year. We are on it now. We have some money on the budget on it this year. But you know, it has to be graduate because we are not a fund. We don't generate funds. We rely on the federal budget. So we will be doing it. We will be doing it yearly basis. All to the time we have the necessary data that it's required, so that everything will be placed in its proper position. And again, we are calling on the development partners and all other agencies of government who have funding and who have something to do with MSME, especially the central bank, federal inland revenue, and other agencies of that nature to support this mass registration conducted by MSMEs, so that we can have a reliable data for MSMEs, which will be useful to all of them and to us and to every Nigerian.
Data is really very important. Before I let you go, DG, let's look at the moves made by SMEDAN to validate the national policy document to create a more, you improve the relationship with SMEs across the country. This will help boost them across board. Tell us what you're doing about this.
You know, we initiated this policy. You know, we are responsible for formulation of policy on MSMEs. But before we do that, there are certain process. You know, we are doing it on after 5 years, and then what we normally do is we engage the stakeholders to tell us what they need, how they want it, how they want everything to be under there, because the policy goes to the MSMEs. They are the people who are going to benefit out of the MSMEs. So all the critical stakeholders under the MSME ecosystem, we gather them together in each geopolitical zone of the country to get their view on the policy and the areas in which they want us to review. And then after doing that, we couple everything together. We go back to them to validate it, to make sure that what we are presenting is their own view, is their own interest. And after doing that, we now present that mother ministry to send it to the Federal Executive Council for approval. And because the approval comes from the Federal Executive Council, but we have to do all the process. As I speak to you today, is that we have finished all the validation exercise
Wow.
of the policy review of the national policy on MSME. What we are to do now is to send a comprehensive report to the Federal Ministry of Industry, Trade and Investment, to send it to the Federal Executive Council to approve it. And after approving it, we'll now go about the review of the policy this year. It's centered on the classification of the MSMEs. We know the classification of MSME they are looking at. We just have to reclassify the MSMEs, and also we need to also look at the turnover of the MSME instead of looking at the asset based on capital and then number of employees. I think these are the major highlight of the review of the policy. Then we are also looking at the regulations on the space of the MSMEs, like the BDSPs. You know, we have problem with most of these business service providers. They just go about doing it without having the necessary capacity and skills to execute those kind of exercises. So that was the reason why we came up with the certification and accreditation of the BDSPs all over the country. We did it through the FDA in partnership with DFID and other development partners, together with some agencies, so that we can validate and certify these BDSPs and make sure that, and it has already been launched by the Honorable Minister, and now Kaduna Business School and Lagos Business School are doing the training for the BDSPs, and certificate has started being issued to those people to give them the authority to go about providing entrepreneurship training to other institutions and to the business membership organization and to the MSMEs themselves.
All right, there. Thank you very much, Director General of SMEDAN, dear Dr. Diko Rada. Thank you very much. Breaking it down, letting SMEs understand what they should expect and what SMEDAN